Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I want to share a story with you. It's a timeless tale about a young man, a piece of forgotten land, and the incredible power of a determined spirit. It's a story that reminds us that sometimes the greatest treasures are found not in what we are given, but in what we create with our own two hands. Once upon a time, nestled in a quiet, humble village, lived a young man named Anne. Life wasn't easy for him. He had no land to call his own, no house to shelter him from the rain, and every single day was a struggle just to find enough food to eat. He worked tirelessly, taking any job he could find, his muscles aching from dawn until dusk. But despite the hardships that shadowed his every step, Anne possessed something more valuable than gold: an honest and kind heart, and a spirit that was never, ever afraid of hard work. He faced each day not with despair, but with a quiet resilience. One afternoon, seeking a moment of peace, Anne wandered into the forest just beyond the village. As he walked, his eyes fell upon a patch of land that time had forgotten. It was a desolate sight, overgrown with thorny weeds that tangled together like a messy knot, and littered with heavy stones of all sizes. It was clear that no one had set foot on this land for many, many years. It was barren, forsaken, and completely ignored by everyone else. But where others saw only wasteland, Anne saw something different. He saw potential. A thought sparked in his mind, a small flame of hope in the darkness of his difficult life. "If I could just clear this land," he whispered to himself, his voice filled with newfound determination. "If I could turn this mess into a garden, maybe, just maybe, I could grow enough to live on." And so his great project began. From that day forward, Anne dedicated himself to the forgotten plot of land. Every morning, before the sun had even fully risen, he was there. With a simple, worn-out sickle, he hacked away at the thick, stubborn grass. He bent his back, his muscles straining as he dug up and rolled away each heavy stone, one by one. He used a simple hoe to break up the hard, compacted earth, tilling the soil until it was soft and ready for new life. The work was grueling. His hands, unaccustomed to such relentless labor, quickly became covered in painful blisters. His only set of clothes grew thin and tattered, yet through all the sweat and the pain, and never once thought of giving up, his vision of a lush green garden fueled him, pushing him forward day after weary day. Weeks turned into a month, and slowly, miraculously, a transformation took place. The once barren land, choked with weeds and rocks, was now clean, clear, and fertile. The soil was dark and rich, a perfect canvas for his dream. With a heart full of hope, and carefully planted his first seeds. He chose vegetables that would grow strong and sweet potatoes that would provide hearty meals. His work wasn't over though. Creating the garden was just the beginning. Now he had to nurture it. Every single day, without fail, he carried buckets of water from a nearby stream to quench the thirst of his budding plants. He stood guard like a loyal protector, chasing away any wild animals that dared to nibble on the tender green shoots. He tended to his garden with the same care and gentleness a mother would give her child. Months passed, and Anne's tireless efforts began to bear fruit. Literally, the garden burst into life, a vibrant tapestry of green. The sweet potato vines spread across the ground, and the vegetable plants grew tall and strong. Soon, it was time for the harvest. Anne's heart swelled with pride as he gathered basket after basket, overflowing with plump, delicious sweet potatoes and fresh, crisp vegetables. The bounty was more than he could have ever imagined. He took some of his harvest to the local market, where the fresh produce sold quickly, earning him a modest income. But Anne didn't keep all the rewards for himself. He remembered his own days of hunger and shared the rest of his food generously with the other poor villagers, ensuring they too had something to eat. The entire village began to talk about the young man and his incredible garden. They admired his unwavering hard work, and even more, they admired his profoundly kind and generous heart. One peaceful evening, as Anne sat resting beside his flourishing garden, feeling a deep sense of contentment, a magical thing happened. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves of his plants, and a soft, shimmering light appeared before him. Out of the light stepped a beautiful fairy, her smile as warm as the summer sun. "Anne," she said, her voice like the melody of a soft wind chime, "you have done something wonderful. With nothing but your own hands and the kindness in your soul, you have transformed this barren wasteland into a paradise of life. You have shown that true magic lies in hard work and a good heart." The fairy smiled once more. From this day forward, she declared, "this land will always reward your efforts. It will bring you endless happiness and bountiful harvests." And with those words, she vanished, leaving behind a single, tiny seed that glowed with a faint golden light. Filled with wonder, Anne took the precious gift and planted it right in the center of his garden. To his astonishment, from that one seed grew a magnificent flower with petals of pure, shimmering gold. It was a flower unlike any other, for it never wilted or faded, remaining a constant, beautiful symbol of his incredible journey. From that day on, Anne's life changed completely. He was no longer the poor young man struggling to survive. His garden always provided more than enough, and his life was filled with comfort and happiness. But his success never changed his character. He continued to work just as hard, to live with kindness as his guide, and to help anyone and everyone around him who was in need. And so, the story of Anne and his reclaimed garden became a legend in the village. Parents and grandparents would gather their children and tell them the tale ending with the same timeless lesson. Remember, my dears, that good things will always come to those who work hard and carry kindness in their hearts. Just like the young man and his magical garden. What an amazing story, right? It really goes to show that your circumstances don't define you. Your actions and your attitude do. And started with nothing but found everything through his own effort and goodwill. I hope this story inspired you today as much as it inspired me. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this story with me. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next story. See you in the next video.